I never believed that the darkness of night could harbor such terrors until last evening transformed my mundane routine into a waking nightmare. It began innocuously enough with a long drive home after a particularly draining day at work, the rain pattering softly on the windshield and the highway lights stretching out like fleeting specters. As I merged onto the desolate road, a feeling of being observed crept upon me, an unsettling sensation that made the hair on the back of my neck stand on end. At first, I rationalized it as mere fatigue or the tricks of a mind too long isolated behind the wheel. However, as the minutes ticked by, my senses sharpened to every minute detail. The rhythmic hum of my tires against wet asphalt, the irregular flutter of the rearview mirror, and the eerie silhouette that seemed to mimic my every turn. I distinctly recall the moment when a shadow, impossibly distinct and unervingly human in shape, emerged in the reflection of the mirror. That singular, inexplicable glimpse shattered my comfort, igniting a growing dread that I was not alone. Every fiber of my being screamed that I was being followed, yet each time I stole a glance behind me, the darkness revealed nothing more than an endless expanse of night and rain. The sound of my heart, thudding like a warning drum in the silence, served as the sole testament to my burgeoning terror. The sensation escalated into an almost palpable pressure at the back of my mind, a relentless, haunting whisper that warned of an imminent danger lurking just beyond my peripheral vision. With every mile, the road seemed to twist and warp, as if the night itself had conspired to mask the presence of a relentless pursuer. My thoughts raced uncontrollably, interlaced with memories of ghost stories and urban legends I'd once dismissed as the product of overactive imaginations. Yet now, in that unyielding darkness, those very legends felt suffocatingly real, each detail etched into my mind with chilling clarity. As the night deepened and the road narrowed into a forgotten back alley lit only by the intermittent flicker of failing streetlights, the oppressive feeling of being followed intensified into a paralyzing dread that clawed at my chest. I remember how every turn of the wheel seemed to conjure up new evidence of my pursuer's presence. A pair of glinting eyes in the darkness, a fleeting silhouette lurking in the periphery, and the persistent sound of footsteps echoing far too closely behind me. The interior of my car, usually a haven of comfort, transformed into a claustrophobic cell where shadows danced with malicious intent. I attempted to shake off the terror by rationalizing the situation. Perhaps a stray animal or even a prankster was behind me. But deep down, I knew that nothing about the scenario fit a mere explanation of coincidence. My mind, frantic and alive with the macabre, began to catalog every detail with a precision born of pure instinct. I recalled the chill that gripped my spine as I caught a glimpse of a dark figure reflected in a rain-streaked window, a figure that mirrored my movements with a precision that was impossible to ignore. The rain intensified, each droplet a messenger of the impending doom that stalked me. I fumbled for my phone, desperate to call someone for help, yet every time I attempted to dial, my hands betrayed me with tremors so severe that the device slipped from my grasp. The sound of my phone hitting the seat reverberated like a death knell in the silent, foreboding night. In the suffocating grip of that relentless night, I found myself thrust into a surreal confrontation with the unknown, a confrontation that defied every instinct and every rational thought. As I scrambled for refuge, my mind teetered on the edge of sanity, and the darkness seemed to animate with a life of its own, morphing into grotesque shapes that haunted every corner of my vision. I managed to slip into an abandoned building, its derelict halls echoing with the memories of a time when life pulsed within its walls. The silence inside was a far cry from the relentless cacophony outside. Here, every creak of the old wooden floor and every groan of rusted metal spoke volumes of a history steeped in sorrow and neglect. My heart pounded so fiercely that I feared it might shatter the fragile barrier between my own reality and the phantoms that lurked in every shadow. Every moment in that forsaken place was imbued with a sense of impending doom, as though the building itself was a sentient entity, eager to reclaim its lost secrets through the suffering of the unwary. I ventured deeper, each step a defiant act against the paralyzing fear that threatened to consume me. In the echo of my footsteps, I heard the faint, irregular tapping of something unseen, a sound that resonated like the beating of a monstrous heart in the depths of the darkness. My thoughts raced uncontrollably. Had I become ensnared in a trap set by a vengeful spirit, or was this the calculated move of a human predator, equally desperate to ensure that I would not escape unscathed? When the ordeal finally reached its fevered climax, the very fabric of my reality unraveled in a torrent of terror and disbelief. I had been forced to confront the unyielding specter of my pursuer, a revelation that transcended the boundaries of human understanding and defied the conventional definitions of evil. In a final, desperate bid for survival, I found myself locked in a harrowing dance with fate amidst the derelict ruins of an ancient structure that whispered of forbidden secrets and centuries-old curses. Every instinct, honed by years of rational thinking, was now betrayed by a primal fear that rendered me helpless before the incomprehensible horror that had hounded me since dusk. I recall with crystal clarity the moment when the figure, now unmistakably human in its malevolence, stepped into the faint glow of a fractured light, revealing a face contorted with a mixture of rage, despair, and something far more ancient and unfathomable. Its eyes bore into mine with an intensity that seemed to strip away the veneer of my humanity, exposing the raw terror that lay beneath. In that dreadful instant, the veneer of normalcy was shattered entirely, replaced by a visceral, unrelenting truth. I was at the mercy of a force that had been lurking in the darkest recesses of my world, waiting for the precise moment to exact its revenge. The ensuing struggle was not merely a physical confrontation but a battle for my very soul. A fight against an entity that blurred the lines between man and monster. As I fought to break free, the building around me began to echo with the anguished cries of long-forgotten victims, their spectral voices rising in a cacophonous dirge that threatened to engulf me in despair.